Welcome to Hero Movement. Today I'm going to take you through a full body beginner's stretching routine. So nice and simple. I'm just going to work through the whole body really. Nothing too complicated, nice and gentle. If you're just getting started with flexibility and mobility and that sort of thing, then this is quite a nice introduction to it. And even if you've been doing this sort of thing for quite a while, it's always good to come back to the basics and kind of revisit that foundation and make sure it's as strong as possible. That's about it. Let's get going. If you've got some blocks or cushions, then they might come in handy for some of the poses, but other than that, just a mat, open space, open mind, smile. That's about it. If you enjoyed this, then give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in a second. Back onto your mat. So we can start with some deep breathing, just a few deep breaths just to get the body ready, relaxed, nice and prepared to do some stretching. So I'm going to stay on my knees. You can be sat down or stood up, whatever's best for you. Nice and relaxed, and we're going to breathe in through the nose, deep into the belly, the ribs and the chest. And then on the exhale, out through the mouth, long, slow exhale, and think about tucking the tailbone a little bit, contracting through the core. So 3 or 4 deep breaths in your own time. Feel free to put your own music on for this one. You can even mute my voice if you've done this a few times. It's a nice easy one you could do in front of the telly or wherever you want. Okay, shake things out. We're going to come forward, plant the hands and have the fingers facing towards us. I'm going to tuck the toes under as well. Then slowly shift your weight back, and we're looking to stretch through the wrists, but also get a bit of a stretch through the toes as well, so you get a bit of a 2 for 1. If that's a bit too intense, you can bring the hands a bit closer, and then obviously if you want a deeper stretch, you can walk the hands further away. Just play around and shift your weight from side to side a little bit. Sometimes people say you shouldn't really move around in stretches, and if you're deep into a stretch, that might be the case, but for the most part, having a little shift here and there, you can find tighter bits and kind of make the stretch work better for you. Okay, I'm going to shake things out a little bit. I'm going to come into a version of the downward facing dog from yoga, or it looks a little bit like it anyway. So we're going to plant the hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to go into this sort of tabletop position, and then we're going to shift the hips backwards. Nice big deep bend through the knees, and then we might start walking the feet back to lengthen our dog. So nice and extended up through the shoulders. We think about playing with our heel, bringing it down one at a time towards the mat. So nice and gentle. If the heel doesn't want to come all the way down, then that's no problem. When I think about having your hips lifted up towards the sky as well, as if someone's up behind you, pulling your hips up and back. Big inhale, and we're going to bring the left foot up between the hands. Nice big step. If you need to shuffle forward, that's fine. The back knee comes down. Then we're looking to get a bit of a stretch through the hip flexor on this right side. So think about pulling the left hip back and contracting through the right glute. Might be able to bring the hands up to the knee, and then there's also the option to go up overhead. Nice free deep breathing. I'm going to plant the hands, and then we're going to shift our hips back towards our heel, sit in our heel. Think about extending up through the spine, keeping the spine long. We don't want to be collapsed over too much. Nice and extended, and sucking that left hip bone or hip crease in. And then we're kind of hinging towards that front leg. So feel a nice big stretch through the hamstring. Play around with your foot position, whether you want it pointed or flexed. Going to shift forward again, so plant those hands deep into that hip flexor. I'm going to go for a bit of a twist now as well, so keep the right hand planted, and then if it's okay on your back and your neck, I'm going to twist up towards the ceiling with the left. And we're going to switch hands, so the left hand is planted inside the left foot. Twist up with the right. It's a nice twist through the thoracic and a bit through the neck as well, whilst we've got that extension through the hips. And then come back again into another hamstring stretch. So shift in the hips backwards. If you want your knee bent here, then, and because if that feels more comfortable, then that's completely fine too. This time on the inhale, think about lengthening up, and as you exhale, think about bringing your chest a little bit closer to that front foot. So we're thinking up and forwards as opposed to collapsing down. And come on forwards again. Plant the hands inside the left foot now, so both hands are inside. And we're going to think about lengthening through this lunge if possible. The right knee can sort of fall out to the side a little bit too, if you like. And if it's available to you, we can put the elbows down to the floor. Keeping that front foot flexed, so bringing the toes up towards the shin to protect the knee and the ankle. Again, if you want to have a little move around, then feel free to do so. Inhale, plant the hands, and as we exhale, we're going to bring it back up to plank position, and then up to that downwards facing dog. So again, we can just be pedaling out the heels and sway the hips from side to side as well, if that feels good. So you get a bit of a stretch through the side body and the lats. On the next inhale, we're going to take a big step forward with the right foot. Bringing that left knee down. Same sequence on the other side. So we're starting to open up through that left hip flexor, keeping the left glute on and trying to keep the hips as square as possible. So left hip, think about the left hip forward, right hip back. Again, we go to the knee. We might be able to go up overhead, extending the arms up and over. Just keeping that left glute switch on. We're going to plant the hands, shift the bum back to the heel. So I've kept my toes tucked, but you can flatten them to the floor if that's more comfortable. If You might notice that one side is tighter than the other, and that's completely normal. My right hamstring is way tighter. So one little trick to remind you to stay long through the spine. You'll notice I often put one hand sort of around my chest and one on my core. So that's it's to help me kind of judge where the lower part of my spine is in relation to the upper part. So if I'm rounding, those hands are going to start touching towards each other. It's reminding me to sort of stay lifted and then shift forward again. You might come a little bit deeper. Plant the left hand. Open up. Switch hands, plant the right. Open up through there. Plant both hands and we'll send it back again. So on this one, think about lengthening up on the inhale and sending it forward a little bit more on the exhale. Shift things forward again, so both hands this time to the inside of the left foot, right foot, sorry. So you might be able to claw that foot forward a little bit more and let the knee fall out to the side. Sinking the hips forward and down again. Might come to the elbows. Okay, we're going to press back up into that plank position. Shift the hips back. You might find that maybe the heels come a little bit closer there. Maybe not. That's no worries either way. We can start walking our feet up now towards our hands. We're going to inhale to come up halfway, flat back. Exhale and we're going to fold forward. Inhale again halfway. Exhale and we're going to come down to the floor. So this one we're going to do a bit of a groin opener, I suppose. So the knees wider than hips width, and then think about putting your feet wider, or your ankles wider than your knees. Then you stay up on your hands here. We're going to shift our hips backwards, but you could also go down to your elbows. So we're thinking about sending our butts back towards our heels. It's quite a deep stretch if you want it to be. So just take it slow, just ease into it. I'm going to come up. Bring the heels together, and then we're going to come up into our low squat. So if you need something underneath your heels for this, maybe some blocks or some books or something, or you need to be up on your toes, that's completely fine. We're looking to try and maintain a little bit of straightness through the spine. It's going to be a little bit of rounding, but we don't want to be completely collapsed down. So just going to stay here for a minute, just playing around with different corners so you can lean towards your right side. See how that feels through the ankle and through the knee. Maybe lean towards the left. happens if you shift your weight backwards a little bit? Or maybe you try and fold forwards. Just going round in a bit of a circle, I suppose. Just playing with all those corners of your squat. If it's available to you, we're going to plant the left hand. Might even be able to plant the elbow, and then we're going to twist up through the upper back. Switch it over, plant the right. Yeah, nice twist up through there. Opening through the chest, through the thoracic, whilst you're in this nice deep squat. So we're going to open through the quads now and also the shoulders. So the first one's a quad stretch. We're going to bring the knees forward, the toes are tucked under, and then the hands are coming behind. And we're thinking about basically thrusting our hips up towards the ceiling. There's no other way to put it. So you start to feel a bit of a stretch through both quads. The more you go backwards, we can eventually get into something like this. If we untuck the toes, we can come down into completely prone, but that's maybe not one for us to go towards today. We're just going to lean back through. Just get to a position that's mildly uncomfortable, but not ridiculous. Similar sort of position there, and open through the shoulders. So feet are planted this time. The fingers are facing towards the back of the room. We're going to walk the hands back a little bit, keep the shoulders back and down, and then we're going to lift up through the hips. So up and then sort of forward. So we'll get a nice stretch through the shoulders into this shoulder extension position. You can even then plant the bum back down and still keep that stretch on. Shift the weight from side to side a little bit. Play around with your neck position too. Back to our seat. So open up through the hips a little bit more now. If you've got some blocks, they might come in handy. So you can sit up on them. So we're going to start the feet sort of facing, we've got this sort of diamond position. Then we're going to close down with the right, open up with the left. So we're in this 90-90 position. So if you need to be up on the blocks, then looks a bit like that, so you've got a bit more range of motion. So we're going to keep the spine long, and we're going to hinge towards this left leg, the leg that's in external rotation. Keeping that foot flexed, again to protect the knee and the ankle. We come back up, and then we're going to hinge towards the right leg, the internally rotated one. So this one, probably not going to get much in the way of motion if you're anything like me. Then we're going to open up and extend the legs as best we can. I'm going to reach up. We're going to twist our body to the right, and then we're going to reach over towards the left leg. So up and over, not just collapsing down. Doesn't really matter how low you can get. It's more what you're intending to do. That's what matters most. So nice big stretch through the side body, through the lats. Come up to the center. I'm going to twist to face the left foot, and then up and over towards the right. There's some nice music coming from upstairs. Nice big deep breaths. Go back to the center. One more reach up. Lovely. And back into that diamond. You can play with that butterfly position. Then we're going to do the 90-90 on the opposite side. So it's the right leg now that's in the external rotation, left leg internally rotated, core engaged, twist and hinge towards this side. So a nice stretch on the outer glute. Gets very tight. Might be comfortable enough to go down to your knees and to sort of fold all the way down, but just take it whatever your body's feeling like today. Again, we'll come up, twist towards the rear leg. This is not my favourite stretch. It probably means I should do it more often. Cool. We're going to come down onto our backs now. Finish up with some gentle twists. So you bring your right knee up to your chest and then across the body. Let it fall to the floor. So you notice my chest has come up off the floor. We're then going to encourage it back down, keeping that right knee, or left knee, sorry, planted to the floor. So we're just encouraging the left shoulder back down as best we can. It doesn't have to go all the way. And if it's safe for your neck, we can turn towards the left side of the room too. So a nice stretch through the mid and lower back, but also open up through the chest as well and the neck. Okay, we'll bring that knee back to center, square off the hips, bring the right knee to the chest this time, then across to the left. Ground that right knee, then reach back towards your right. Nice big deep breaths here. So when you're ready, I'm going to rock back to center. If you like, you can stay lying down for this next bit. We're just going to do a few more deep breaths just to finish off. So think about really extending the exhale on these breaths now. So we're inhaling for a count of, say, 4, and then exhaling for a count of 6 to 8. So nice big deep breath in. And long, slow exhale. Big breath in. Long, slow exhale. Big breath in. Long, slow exhale. And last one, big deep breath in. Long, slow exhale. Cool. Thank you for following along. Hope you enjoyed this one. Nice and slow, nice and simple. But yeah, hope you got a lot from it. Let me know how it went in the comment section below. Feel free to give it a thumbs up and give it a share if you did enjoy it, and if you think there's someone else who might benefit from it too. Have a healthy, heroic day, and we'll be back next week.